Brown Horse is a story written by W.F. Holmes, and in this poem, he addresses the sentiments of an old brown horse. Just like human beings, animals also have sentiments. In this poem, the poet is very effectively showing us how, just like human beings when they are old, they feel sad and lonely. In the same way, a horse as well, when he is old, starts to feel the same emotions. Let's go to the first stanza and see what's written there. It says, "The old brown horse looks over the fence in a weary sort of way. He seems to be saying to all who pass, 'Well, folks, I've had my day.'" Please notice the word weary in these phrases. The word weary means exhausted or tired. So the first sentence says the old brown horse looks over the fence, which shows that this horse is being taken care of by someone. Although it is old, it's not a wild horse, and now it looks very tired and exhausted, and we can see that the whole day all that this horse does is look over his fence, and he keeps looking at the people who passes by. All right, and he is it looks like he's telling them that I also had a good life and now my time is over. I am old now. I'm um, I'm simply watching the world go by and nobody seems to mind as they're dashing past in their motor cars. A horse which is lame and half blind. The horse is very sensitive, and he is expressing his distress that everybody seems to be so busy around him, right? He can see the whole world is moving, the whole world is busy doing their own work, but nobody has any time to look at this poor old horse, which is not only old, but now he's also physically challenged. He's not able to stand on his 4 feet, and he's also lost eyesight from one eye. He can see the people with full enthusiasm. They're running, they're walking, they're doing their work, and then they are also dashing, means they're passing through their motor cars with great speed. But nobody has any time to look at this horse. You would see in our society the old people, they feel very lonely, and most of the times you will see them sitting alone without any company, and they'll always be waiting for someone to come to them, and as if they're waiting for some company. It looks like that. I think it's the same thing which is going on with this horse as well. The old brown horse has a shaggy coat, but once he was young and trim, and he used to trot through the woods and lanes with the man who was fond of him. This man who the horse is talking about is his master. So when the horse was young, and he was young and trim, that means he was all energetic, he was young, he was active. At that point of time, he was also his master's favorite. The master would ride on his back, and he would show his master many different roads, and he would show his master different places. Wherever the master wanted, the horse would take him to that place, be it a forest or be it any lane or a road, right? But now he is old, and now he only has a shaggy coat. Shaggy means dirty, which is not shiny anymore. And now all he can do is just remember those good times that he shared with his owner. But his master rides in a motor car, and it makes him feel quite sad when he thinks of the days that used to be and of all the times they had. So the horse dearly, dearly misses those times when his master would ride on his back, and he would feel proud that he was riding on a horse, and the horse would also feel very proud that he is trotting away carrying his master on his back. But now that time is over. Now the master doesn't like him anymore. The master now has updated himself with a motor car. It often, you can very easily connect it with that father when he has his son, and when the son is young, when the son is a little baby, he would always run behind his father. He would always would need all of the father's attention. He would try to do things exactly how the father does. He would like to play with the father all the time, and he would demand all the time from the father, right? And the father would happily give away everything that he has for his son, happily. And I think the utmost joy that a father would feel is when he is able to share his time with his children. But then, when this father grows old, then what happens? His way of working, his speed lessens, his work is not very effective like the other times. He takes more time to do things, and he is not able to do a lot of things. And soon he starts to slow down. And what happens to the son? The son grows up and he is now taking care of his own life. He is active, he wants success in life, he wants to meet his objectives, he has to take care of his family. And now he doesn't have any time to look at his old father because he already has so many responsibilities on his head. And how do you think the father would feel at that time? The father feels extremely, extremely sad. Same goes with this horse. The horse is now remembering that when he was young, the master would ride on his back, and he would, enjoy all the time that he had with this horse. But now that the horse is useless and old, now he has bought his own car, and he has clearly shown that he doesn't care about this horse anymore. Sometimes a friendly soul will stop near the fence, and the tired old head rests wearily on the topmost bar, and the friendly warder said, "Well, now the horse is old, and all he waits for is a friendly soul." Friendly soul means a person who would come by and stop by him. So he would wait for this friendly person to stop and just tell him few sweet words that would give him a lot of comfort. So he rests his tired head on the fence like this all day, and he keeps waiting for someone who would stop by and maybe give a little time. Then the old brown horse gives a little sigh as he feels the kindly touch of a hand on his mane or his shaggy coat, and he doesn't mind so much. Finally, out of all those travelers who are passing by, out of all those motor cars which are dashing by, there'll be someone who would just stop by and then pat his mane. Shaggy coat means the dirty coat that he has, which is not shiny anymore, and his mane is the hair on his head. So there would be one good soul who will come and pat on his back, touch his shaggy coat, and touch his mane, and that gives him a little comfort. He gets the feeling of togetherness with someone, right? And that, so he gives a little sigh. Sigh means a long breath, like this, right? So most of the times you sigh when you are sad, and suddenly there's one ray of hope, one ray of comfort that you get, and then you sigh. So it doesn't make a lot of difference, but yet it's better than being lonely all the time. So 1 minute's company, maybe a few seconds company, is better than no company at all. So if you pass by the field one day, just stop for a word or two with the old brown horse who was once as young and as full of life as you. The poet is now telling the readers that please, if you're passing through such a field where this old horse is living, please stop by and just exchange a word or two. Just talk to that old horse, because this horse was also as young as you. Just like you are young now, this old horse was also young. So, in another way, the poet is saying that if you are sensitive, if you can, please stop by these old people that are in your life. You will always see them here, everywhere around us. They are all there. I think every family has at least one elderly person, so we should remember to stop by and give our time to our grandparents, our grandfather, grandmother, all right, our grand aunt, or any old people who stays by our side. He is requesting you to go to these elderly people sometimes and give little time to them, so that they don't feel lonely and they can count on you. They would love it so much if you go and give them some company for some time. He'll, because one day you are also going to get old, right? And how would you feel if you are also treated like this horse, or you are also treated like your grandparents, right? He'll love the touch of your soft hand. He'll love the touch of your soft young hand. And I know he'll seem to say, "Oh, thank you, friend, for the kindly thought for a horse who has had his day." Again, the poet in this last stanza as well is talking to the readers and saying that please stop by this horse. If you pass by the field, please stop by this old horse. And if you touch him with your young hands, and if you talk some good words to him, how would he feel? He would be full of gratitude and he will thank you so much for your kindly thoughts. Because this is also the same horse who once was young, and now this is the same horse who was young once, but now he has grown old. And he really needs someone to give him a little comfort, a little company, right? So the moral of this whole poem is that we should take care of the elderly people who live amongst us. We should not leave them alone because they cannot walk like us, because they cannot speed up things like us, because they have lost their memories, and most of the time they don't know what they are saying, right? So we shouldn't leave them alone like that. Instead, we should try to give them our company as much as we could. There is a worksheet that I have attached with the video. Please feel free to do that worksheet to check your understanding. Um, I will be coming up with another new video on Stephen Hawking. And if you have any questions or queries related to this poem, please feel free to write it in the description box. And if you liked the explanation of this poem, consider subscribing my channel. And I'll see you in the next video.